Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how Battlefield 6 already has a pivotal moment coming up so early into its release. The community sentiment regarding Battlefield 6 has pretty much dropped off the face of the cliff, along with its player count, as a result of Season 1, and I think just people getting bored or playing other games. I've seen increasing sentiment that the amount of content that we are expecting to get in Battlefield 6 per season is not enough to tide people over. Increasing sentiment regarding the shallow gameplay of Battlefield 6 and how the game doesn't really have much to offer in comparison to previous titles with its gameplay. And how the problems in Battlefield 6, while they seem simple to fix, are actually quite complicated to fix in some specific scenarios. So we're going to be talking about Season 2, what I really should expect from it, and what I think we're going to get. And finally, I'll remind people about some very concerning leaks that happened a few months ago at this point, but I think a lot of people perhaps forgot. And let's just say, some things they are allegedly adding to the game are not a good idea. So if you guys enjoy the channel, if you want to keep up to date with Battlefield 6, this is the channel for you. Hit the sub button, hit the like button, and of course swing by the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders and this YouTube channel. All links, including the newly revamped coaching, are in the description. So, Battlefield 6 Season 2, why am I talking about it before Season 1 even ends? Well, that's a good question. The reason is, I think everyone is already bored of Season 1, and I think a lot of people already got bored of it a long time ago, and there are still, as of recording this video, about 3 weeks left of Season 1. And if I know Battlefield and DICE and EA and how they handle things, I'd be willing to bet there's probably going to be more downtime between the end of Season 1 and the release of Season 2 than some people would expect. I think some people expect Season 1 to end and then Season 2 to immediately begin, but it's not always that clear-cut with Battlefield. During continuous playtime of Battlefield 6, it's become increasingly clear that the live service model and the amount of content this game is going to be receiving per season is not going to be enough if they continue to go down the same road of 2 maps, a couple weapons, a mediocre event, and so on and so forth. In the weeks after Season 1, Battlefield 6's player count has declined significantly. Some people are calling the game dead. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, you just have to be a liar if you call the game dead. It's not dead, but it's definitely lost a lot of momentum and a lot of steam. And this is why I said Battlefield 6 already has a pivotal point so close to its release, because Season 2 has to deliver. This is where I draw your attention to some leaks that Temporal put up a couple months ago at this point, I believe in November, and some of this stuff is supposedly going to be in Season 2. We have the Little Bird, which was actually teased in an official Battlefield post not too long ago, so you can fully expect a Little Bird in Season 2, or just for it to be added to the game in general. We have a couple weapons, the MG5 allegedly, Bren 2, Scorpion Evo 3, and the Scorpion VZ61 sidearm. So that's all fine, we all expected a couple weapons. Then the concerning stuff that isn't specified as to whether or not it might be added in Season 2 are the gadgets. If you read these gadgets, they're just a bunch of grenade launchers, and I don't know about anyone else, but I don't think Battlefield 6 needs more irritating explosive devices. Read some of these potential gadgets that we could maybe expect to be added to the game. Airburst grenade launcher, sticky grenade launcher. Didn't we learn from 2042 with the SPH launcher, for those of you that played that game? And then all the way at the bottom, the dreaded impact grenade. The addition of any of these gadgets would simply make the gameplay worse, because it would just make it more frustrating. We already have people walking around spamming grenade launchers on Assault. We already have people running around throwing incredibly irritating incendiary grenades that don't have very good grenade indicators, by the way. So let's keep our fingers crossed that Temporal is wrong for once in his life. Now, some of this stuff is just the little extra bits of content that come with Battlefield seasons. The main stuff are obviously the maps and the Battle Pass and everything else. As I stated previously, it's, I think, abundantly clear that 2 maps per season is just not enough to tide people over. I've seen the sentiment regarding the amount of content for this game just really become extremely negative. I think people don't feel as though they're getting enough. So if Season 2 continues with the trend of giving us 2 maps per season, they have to be good maps. And as we know in Season 1, Blackwell Fields was not very good. So half of the season's content was essentially just null and void from the beginning. But Battlefield 6's predicament is a little bit more complicated than that, because the problems present in the game right now are actually extremely complicated themselves and require a significant amount of attention, even more so than I think a lot of people realize. Forget the content, the gameplay of Battlefield 6, as it stands right now, is incredibly frustrating, and it isn't necessarily easy to fix. There are a ton of contributing factors. So not only does Season 2 have to improve the quality of the content with better maps, they have to start making headway on at least a few of these main issues that are impacting Battlefield 6's experience. One that I would love to see addressed at a baseline, just to have everything sort of smoothened out, is netcode. I think we can all agree the netcode is getting real old to experience in Battlefield 6. You die around a wall, and it's just like, fuck this, you know? That's how I feel at this point. I've been dying around walls in Battlefield for the better part of 15 years at this point. Can we please improve it? But then you have to tack on all of the other present issues in the game. The audio, which they tried to address, is better in terms of you can hear the footsteps, but now the problem is the directionality of them isn't necessarily great. It's very confusing, especially when there are multiple people around you, and I find it difficult to tell if somebody is above or below you. Combine this with the fact that visibility is still a problem in this game, and you can see where I'm getting at. These issues are not necessarily, oh, we push a patch and everything's fixed. No, this is going to take a long time, on top of a lot of other things that I haven't even mentioned yet. I think we need to start to have a serious conversation about this game's close quarters time to kill being too fast, and the fact the gunplay is essentially designed to allow a toddler to beam you from about 80 meters. Battlefield 6 has the fastest Battlefield time to kill I have personally experienced in recent memory, combined with slow, mediocre movement. And that's not necessarily a great combination. The remedy for this is, again, pretty straightforward, but the solution is more complicated, right? You need to essentially have a small time to kill pass where you get rid of the 3 bullet to kill ranges on most weapons, so the time to kill is very slightly longer. This would result in a slight time to kill change. It would be nothing large, but it would be significant enough to make a noticeable impact in the enjoyability of the gameplay. Then there's the issue of the gunplay. In my opinion, the gunplay of this game is designed very specifically and very intentionally to allow casual players to hit things more easily. Okay? And I get it, like, people are gonna fucking shit on me in the comments for saying that, but it's true. Okay? The gunplay of this game is essentially laser beam gunplay now. There isn't much recoil, and you can build weapons to be incredibly accurate at distance with almost zero effort applied. Having experienced laser beam gunplay that was even worse than Battlefield 6's at the release of Battlefield 2042 in that game, I can guarantee you that the solution is once again simple, but I don't think DICE is going to do it. The solution to avoid laser beam gunplay is to make burst firing more prevalent in gameplay, so the engagement distances are reduced and hit rate is reduced at range. This essentially means make spread matter more. Now, when people hear bloom or spread, they immediately go, oh, I fucking hate that RNG stupid mechanic. But I think they just don't really understand the application of it and how truly important it is in Battlefield's game design and why it's been in Battlefield for 20 plus years. There is a reason why people couldn't beam you with assault rifles out to the distances they can in Battlefield 6 in a game like Battlefield 4. And perusing around the internet, I've seen a ton of people use this term breathing room when talking about Battlefield 6, and the gunplay is a contributing factor to people feeling like they don't have any breathing room. The weapons beam you from any distance. Of course people feel like they can't move or they don't have any breathing room. If they move, they get hit by 5 consecutive shots. That didn't necessarily happen as often in previous Battlefield titles. I'm not saying the gunplay is the only reason for the quote-unquote lack of breathing room, but it is definitely a contributing factor. And ladies and gentlemen, I am 9 minutes and 30 seconds into this video, and I haven't mentioned the problems with vehicles, portal, class balance, UI, and many others. You can see why a lot of people are saying Battlefield 6's issues are far larger than they initially appeared to be. Now, I should have said this at the beginning of the video, because the comment section is probably going to be filled with people going, oh, well, you know, Ender's just complaining again. But all of these issues being present don't make Battlefield 6 like the worst Battlefield game ever. Battlefield 6 is still a pretty good game. It's just there's a lot of shifting around that needs to happen in order for it to reach its maximum potential. And if DICE wants a chance for this game to bounce back in a big way with the outside communities and with the Battlefield community, they need to make Season 2 really count from the get-go. So in the next coming weeks, I'm going to be very interested to see their messaging with Season 2, what they announce, and just what their direction is. Be sure to let me know what you hope they focus on in Season 2, and what you hope the maps will be. I want to see if they actually just add a bunch of big maps to the game, because that's been a big complaint from players. People feel as though the maps just need to be larger, more vehicle-centric, more battlefieldy, so let's see what they do. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, if you want to stay up to date with this game, hit the like button, sub button, and all links are in the description. Swing by the streams. I stream every single day. I'll see you guys in the next video.